Today's video is going to show you all of the things you need to know about getting more clients, getting better clients, and that starts with this.
So I've seen your comments, and I've seen these disgruntled designers stating their clients want cheap and nasty artwork, and they cannot get higher paying clients or quality clients. The thing is, most designers are approaching this problem all wrong and with the incorrect mindset.
And a quick thanks to the awesome sponsor of today's video, Issuu. This is where you can transform your content into beautiful, shareable designs, and more about Issuu later.
Firstly, let's take a look at LinkedIn, but not how you might think. LinkedIn is where the business owners and your potential clients hang out. So if you want to get more clients, why would you not be on LinkedIn? So yeah, obviously we know LinkedIn is awash with the exact kind of people you need to be targeting, but how do you use it? Firstly, don't be spammy because that leads nowhere fast. You need to network and form real relationships with real people because as the famous saying goes, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. LinkedIn also has something very, very powerful, and that is the groups section, which can be really great for getting in touch with the right people for your business. LinkedIn groups have powerful community management features that most social media platforms don't have. For example, LinkedIn sends a daily or a weekly digest of all of the activities in your group to the members, which keeps them updated and engaged. These groups are growing in usage with each passing week, and more businesses are opting for niche, closed communities to interact in. It's all about settling in and becoming a cemented part of a community, and once you do that, you will start to see the fruits of your labor. So from LinkedIn, be ready to direct people to your website, which brings me on to the next point in today's video. If you're a graphic designer in 2021, you need your very own website. Sure, you can probably cope and get by without one, but if you want to maximize your chances of getting traffic to those higher paying clients, you need to actively contribute to a website on a regular basis. This means setting up the website, making sure it has your portfolio on there, but also content that will bring in the people. Yeah, you do need that kind of hook or that traffic diversion to get things rolling on your website. So for example, a graphic design blog would be a great idea for the website, maybe with articles about logo design, design trends, fonts, and so on. You then need to set up things like backlinks and other means to enhance your website's chances of ranking in Google search terms, or you could just hire an SEO expert. But like I said, it's not easy, but for sure it does work if done correctly. And that's the main thing here, it does work. If 10 people see your work, that will obviously lead to less clients compared to 10,000 people seeing your work. Tip number 3 and 4 on this list are very, very useful, but number 4 is going to be hugely powerful. But firstly, tip number 3 is still really great, and that is Facebook, but not how you might think. Sure, you can set up your very own Facebook page or business account, and I do suggest you do that. But the real way to get your foot in the door to Facebook is to engage in Facebook groups. Again, this isn't by spamming the heck out of the place with your website URL, like, please sir, look at my work. That isn't going to get you anywhere. Spend the time to network, to interact, and to become a part of a relevant group of graphic design, or the kind of clients that you want to work with. If people see you're a graphic designer, they might ask you for work after having gotten to know you. But also add value to these groups. If people ask you a question about graphic design or anything for that matter, give a response and just help out and get your name out there. So this fourth method is hugely powerful, and it's something that propelled my career, and it can do the same for you too. Again, warning alert, it does take time and it does take effort. Now it doesn't matter if we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, or even right here where you're watching this video on YouTube. Wherever it is, build an audience and demonstrate your skills as a graphic designer. So if people from all over the world see an Instagram reel of your logo design work, or something in your blog that shows you understand layout design, then you're showing proof of skill that you're capable. This is so powerful because it gives your audience trust in your abilities, and if you match that with an active portfolio, you have a great chance of landing those higher quality, higher paying clients. This last bit is very, very important, so do please listen. Now I've shown you some of the places where you're likely to find better clients for your graphic design career. They are all there waiting to be interacted with and also contacted. So you're going to need to, of course, have graphic design skills and the ability to demonstrate those skills with a strong portfolio. If you're unsure about how to do that, I've made many videos on how to make portfolios or portfolio posts and what makes a good portfolio. Everything you need to gain better quality clients is available to you. The only thing stopping you at this point from doing that is yourself. It's doable and it's possible, but only you can make it happen. Another really important factor for gaining those higher paying, better graphic design clients is appearing or being more professional, and also your work looking polished and professional. On screen right now, you're watching me take a simple static PDF file and actually transforming it into a high performance piece of content. It has been easily converted into a sleek, page-turning piece of visual content. This is Issuu, which can be found via the link in the description box below. But with this awesome platform, you can upload things like brochures, magazines, ebooks, or other various PDF files, and it gives you the ability to totally transform them into really cool, functional pieces of work. And that's perfect for wowing clients in pitches. Imagine creating a booklet based around your logo design concept and then uploading it to Issuu for transformation and then sending the outcome to the client. I mean, it'd work really well in a pitch. And Issuu is used globally by millions of different people, from graphic designers, content creators, and marketers. It's also integrated with Canva and InDesign, so you can automate your design process within Canva and InDesign. Also, it ensures that your team always have access to your latest creations. Collaboration is a really strong aspect of Issuu, and it helps to really reduce production and workflow times. With your new creations, you can embed them into a portfolio website or a landing page. You can share them on social media, or you can just use them as part of a marketing campaign. And those of you with websites or who work on web projects, you can get an SEO boost simply by uploading your content to Issuu, where over 100 million readers flock to read content every single month. You can try it Issuu for free, or you can sign up and get 25% off when you use the link in the description box below and use the promo code Satori25. And a big thank you to Issuu for sponsoring this segment of today's video. This next chapter is aimed at you freelancing guys and girls out there, and we're going to look at how we can dominate the freelancing space and become that top 5% on any freelance platform. So let's get it. As of 2021, there are over 163 million registered accounts across all freelancing platforms. Crazy numbers, I know, but how do we actually compete on freelance platforms? The important thing to competing these days on freelance platforms is to stand out. Now we're looking at Fiverr here and we're browsing the logo design freelancers. Notice here how this person is advertising a modern and minimal logo. That's quite a niche type of logo. Then moving down even further, somebody is selling a logo aimed at DJs. You can't really get more niche than that, to be honest. And look at the number of sales they have, over 1k. The trick is to find a niche within a niche and then kind of market your skills in a very unique way within that kind of niche sector. It's one thing being an illustrator, that's a skill. But being a top manga or anime style illustrator is a mastery that is highly niche. Also, consider the thumbnail of your projects that they should stand out to, the profile picture on your accounts, and the title of your projects especially. Now here's a quick bonus tip about your profile. Wherever possible on these freelancing platforms, try and attach a short video about yourself and your work. This adds that kind of human element that makes you more relatable to potential clients. Try and style this video to your profile and your branding too. Okay, so you need to be niche and you need to stand out. Great. But what about some of the more technical tips that few people actually know about and implement into their freelancing strategy? Now, into your strategy, you need to work in custom proposals. If your proposal is a template and it's cold, then it's easily going to just be seen as that, cold and unoriginal. The potential client will probably most likely be able to detect what it is right from the very start. When reading a job posting, see what the client wants and what phrases the potential client uses. You then use this information to create a custom proposal something tailored to the customer's needs and the problems they need solving. They're going to be 100% more effective than your cold kind of standard template. Now, you might notice that on some freelance websites, it shows you how long it typically takes for a freelancer to respond to a message. This is one very crucial bit of data. I'm somebody who hires people on freelance platforms on a regular basis, and I often use this to gauge whether or not a person is even worth contacting in the first place, because firstly, my time is precious, and secondly, it shows how professional and available they actually are. There are two main choices when it comes to actually finding work on freelance platforms as a graphic designer. 1, you reply to potential clients posting their jobs, or 2, they contact you via specific projects that you have ready to go. I actually suggest you do both, but looking at the second choice for a moment, how can we actually leverage this into our strategy? On people per hour, they used to call these hourlies, but they're now called offers. On Upwork, they're called projects. The thing with these is that they appeal to the type of client who just wants to look around people's profile and then just buy a service right away. But here's the key secret to gaining money and those clients when it comes to using these. Make sure the title is appealing, that it stands out, and that it appeals to the niche skill where you seem like a master at that thing. Looking back at this dude right here, he's doing things right. Check out these titles. An unmatched project, attention-worthy project, achieve project designing heights. He's really selling and marketing his offers to potential clients, knowing what they want to read and also what to buy. You should always aim to do your best job, and if you do finish a project, ask the client for a review. It is one of the most important things on a freelance platform, and actually it gives potential clients a very quick way to digest how reliable and how skillful you actually are. Also, if you do supply a great service, then you will be likely hired by that person over and over again. Probably one of the most important things about freelance platforms. So, the next thing on your list of goals when it comes to freelancing should be gaining those badges. Each freelance website has a different badge system, but whatever the system is, read up on how to get the badges and then work towards it like your life depends on it. Having those badges next to your account will install so much confidence in potential clients. Let me present to you a very important choice. Now, you can either be like 99% of other freelancers and see saturation and competition as a way to become even more isolated, or you can choose to become more social. Make friends with the enemy. It sounds pretty crazy, I know, but just hear me out. The hard truth that very few people understand is that the more you work with or interact with the people who you see as competition, the more you will win. Networking opens up doors and opportunities that not only were closed beforehand, but which you didn't even know existed in the first place. Some people have access to sectors of business and industry that you could only dream of, and trust me on this, it's really, really important. So try and get busy on the social side of these freelancing platforms and make real connections. So with everything we've spoken about in mind, you need to set up various different freelance accounts across multiple different platforms and then market them on social media. Social media is absolutely essential for graphic designers in this day and age, and so we're going to look at how to boost your social media and optimize it for getting more clients, getting better clients. I'm going to do that right now. While growing a YouTube channel to almost 1 million subscribers and 33,000 Instagram followers respectively, there are some truly powerful optimization hacks that I've learned along the way. Hack number 1 is to make sure you have a pinned tweet, and here's exactly why. The pinned tweet is at the very first thing that people will see when they hit that button and head over to your account, apart from your bio of course, and there will be hacks for that later. But a pinned tweet means it's prime real estate on a social network that typically moves really, really fast. To make the pinned tweet effective, use a striking and interesting image or video clip. Also make sure you use relevant hashtags and absolutely have a call to action that directs people away from the tweet to wherever you want them to go. And I've actually just changed the pinned tweet on my account recently, so now traffic gets diverted to my logo design e-guide website. And the next hack for optimizing social media is so important these days, and that is using Linktree. Linktree is a very cost-effective service that basically collects all of your call to action links into one nice neat location. You can customize the layout and design of your Linktree, and once it is filled with your portfolio, Behance, social networks and so on, blast that thing all over your social bios and beyond. Not only does it look professional, but it just makes sense. It's a mega awesome call to action.
The next important social media hack is to consider getting business or professional versions of each social media account.
So, for example, Twitter Business and then Instagram Professional. You can upgrade your accounts simply in the settings menu, and the instructions are easily found online.
But that begs the question, why even do it in the first place?
Firstly, you can have the data on follower insights. You can see what they're clicking on, what they're searching for, and all of that good stuff. It may also allow for customers to reach out to brands and provide their feedback or even ask for help. Brands can then use this as an opportunity to not only collect vital feedback to improve their products, but also to deliver the support their customers need.
The next social media hack should be obvious to all graphic designers, but I really should mention it in this video.
It's the almighty B word. And no, I don't mean whatever curse word has just entered your mind, rather I mean branding. All of your social networks should be instantly recognizable as being yours. Using the same color schemes, the same layouts, and font choices are essential to building a strong brand recognition and a community around that brand.
Social media hack number 5 is to be social.
You should focus on being social more than promotional. If you promote things too much, then you come across as fake and, well, just unsociable. You'll be outcast by your followers and you just won't grow. Pretty simple. You need to get involved in discussions and use social media for the very reason it was first created.
And hack number 6 is to tag bigger or more well-known accounts from time to time, or just give them a mention.
Not only will this get you into popular discussions and topics, which increases discoverability, but it also gives you the chance for a powerhouse account to respond to you and give you the extra clout.
You don't want to be spammy with this approach, and you don't want to be aggressive, and if you do use this method, make sure that you tag relevant people to what you're talking about or your niche sector. And the next hack is all about your bio on social media, because it really does need to be SEO friendly or search engine optimized.
This means incorporating hashtags and keywords that you should have already researched in regard to your reach and discoverability on social media. For example, logo designer, and so on. Also, keep the bio as short as possible and refine it down to its core essentials. And remember to link your Linktree too.
Social hack number 8 is to solve a problem quickly on social media.
Some of the biggest posts to blow up in the graphic design niche are those quick 30 to 60 second tutorials in, say, Photoshop or Illustrator. Watching these, people can learn something very quickly and then share it to someone else who they know. Why? Well, because it's a burst of quick knowledge that solves a problem. Think along these lines for awesome returns on your posts.
And hack number 9 is one of my favorites, and it is that you should try to become an editorial or magazine expert.
This means that you absolutely crush it when it comes to titles. The title should contain interesting buzzwords and emotional triggers. This is not clickbait. It's what magazine editors always do. Clickbait is when a title is misleading and doesn't provide what it says. So don't listen to those who claim otherwise, they just don't understand the power and importance of titles. There are free tools that you can use to optimize titles that I will link below, and as you can see, they're really easy to use.
The penultimate hack in today's video is one of the most important, or arguably the most important, and that is to stay consistent.
Remaining consistent not only helps the algorithm push your content out to other people, it also means that you as a brand remain in the minds of the audience. And if you can ensure you remain in their minds, then you will likely get more engagement.
Sure, designers don't get clients from other designers that often, but you will still get some kind of engagement from them, which is handy, of course. And they may even share or promote your stuff to other people and other designers. Next up, consider promoting some of your posts on social media. But there is a but here, of course. Be careful.
It's said that you need to spend money to make money, and the most successful brands on Twitter and Instagram have both paid for and then organic strategies. But like I said, you need to be careful here. Set a budget per month and then spread it out over very select few posts. Make sure you only promote posts that are going to be beneficial to you in terms of clicks and sales. On Twitter, you can also do things like pay to promote a specific trend. Even though buying a promoted trend makes it so that your topic is one of the most discussed topics on Twitter at any given time, it can be one of the most expensive Twitter advertising options out there.
And now you can head off into the sunset with your social media optimized. But it won't happen overnight. It's a long-term game that brands play on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. Mockups are kind of like a hidden gem or a sleeping giant in the graphic design space, only if you use them properly. This next chapter is going to show you exactly how to use mockups to attract more clients and better clients. So when you're sending your designs to a client, does this look familiar to you? Is this something that you send to a client? Or maybe what about this? Maybe you do compile your designs in this way and then you send them to your client with a short message like, please kindly review the designs and let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah, this is a bad method, and I myself was doing something similar for multiple years. That is, until I woke up and I realized a far more efficient way of sending designs to a client that vastly increased my chances of my designs being approved. So instead of simply dumping your designs onto your client with no context, we want to tell a story and explain the logic of our reasoning. Now I personally find Photoshop really good for this task, mainly because most mockups are PSD files, and this PS document is 1920 pixels wide by around 13,000 pixels in length. One handy bonus tip before we look closely at this method is that you can design this file just once, only once, and then use it as a template for all of your clients and their presentations. This will save a whole lot of time to you when you're trying to send your designs to a client. The brief and the client I worked on for this project was heavily based around the tech industry. You will notice how the choices made within my presentation align with that sentiment. The style of sans serif font being modern and futuristic, the colours of blue and black linking back to that colour psychology, everything just makes sense. Making the presentation feel like it's part of the brand and the industry will automatically appeal to your client subconsciously. And here at the start I've given a brief synopsis of the project because this is going onto my portfolio. However, you can outline the main goals for the logo and what you aim to achieve with your design to your client. I've spoken about this method before, but it's important to understand the power of it, and that leads on to the next section after the initial introduction. I like to show my design in a dissected and technical way like you can see here. Now this not only shows the design is flush and professionally made, but it also appears to the client to be a technical piece of work, furthering to boost your capability as a designer in their mind. Remember, this presentation has one main goal. Do you know what that goal is? Of course, the main goal is just to persuade your client that they will buy your design. Before we hit any mockups, I like to dive into the colour scheme of the design of the brand. There are many ways to display the colour scheme, but here's one method I personally quite like a lot. Black is the main colour in the brand's palette, and so it's the largest block in my scheme, followed by grey, then blue, and then equally smallest amounts of white and yellow. I've kept the same font use and size throughout the entire presentation, which is another important factor to keep in mind. And also here it's wise to explain your colour choice. I've linked things back to colour psychology, which again just cements my decisions as being justified. My first markup is very minimal and it does fall in line with the brand's colour scheme, using black and white as part of the colour scheme. This is a box mockup that will hold the drones that my client intends to sell. The logotype and the logo are seen across the design, and I've thought about the brand sentiment of being minimal and modern, and I've translated the mockup into that brand style, which is another crucial point. As I did with the colour scheme section, here I've explained the reasoning for my choice of typeface for the brand and the logo, and I've backed that up with expert knowledge within this industry. That's just more ammunition that will show the client that I know what I'm doing and my choices do make sense. And below I've carefully chosen relevant imagery that links back to the brand. I've used the same colours that I've chosen throughout this presentation, and I've shown aspects of the typeface in use. This section boosts my envision of the brand's image and it shows the client how the typeface functions in the real world, among other things. My next mockup shows a potential business card design. And think to yourself, how does this mockup tie into my overall presentation considering everything we've already looked at? Well, firstly, it's clean, it's minimal, and like the first box mockup we saw earlier. But also the colours are the same, the charcoal black and the white. The same can also be seen on the next mockup, which presents a brochure or kind of a manual that might come with a drone when a customer purchases it from my client. Now I hope you can see how every decision I've made links back to the brand's image and the style of logo that I created. This method of presenting your designs as a short visual story is hugely powerful. It persuades your client to give your project the green light, and then you just, secure another sale for your design career. And like I said, you can make 1 or 2 of these mock-up presentations and then just use them as templates for future projects. It should be obvious how this method is vastly superior in comparison to just dumping multiple designs on your client in an email. Often, if we sour the client with our service, then they're not going to come back and become repeat customers. And so the next chapter right now is going to show us how we can ensure almost every single client will say yes to our work and have a great experience with us as a designer. Your design is too simple. Try and make it pop and fill up that blank space. Now, does that sound familiar to you coming from a client? You might have listened intently to my videos and other great graphic design channels on YouTube, and you likely have learned things about white space, hierarchy, typography, and all of that good stuff. But when it comes to actually applying these rules and principles in a client project, they might say the design is too simple or to fill up the blank space, quote unquote. I've got some proven methods coming right up that will help with this very problem. So firstly, and likely one of the most powerful methods in today's video, is to put your design concept side by side with the client's idea. Clients will often say things or demand things that don't make sense to us graphic designers because they haven't got a creative mind, which means they cannot visually comprehend a design. Now I do get it because I've had it in the past where a client really has, their mind set on a specific design or concept, and I know it won't work at all. So the first thing you need to do is you need to make your concept, your design, and make sure it is awesome. All of the things I talk about, such as thinking about the target audience and everything else, do it all on this design. Then take their design idea and make that as well. If you are a competent designer who has an eye for design, then your design sat next to their concept will more than likely look 10 times better. That is the first step in this method. Secondly, don't just send them this comparison and hope for the best. No. Explain every decision and why it works. For example, let's say you're designing a brochure and the client wants every single bit of white space filled up on a double-page spread. They might have complained that there is too much space on the design. Your design will have a good amount of white space, macro and also micro. Explain to the client that having free space allows a viewer to easily navigate the design, and it helps them grasp the information faster and more efficiently. But sometimes when the client will see your design against their own, that isn't going to be enough to, bring them around to your point of view or your frame of mind. And for these more stubborn clients, we do have more methods at our disposal. Try throwing in facts, like how a viewer might stay on a design for X amount of seconds longer when they have a pleasant reading experience. You want to find every fault in their design and show how your design actually fixes these problems. That's the first and second steps in this method. Now it's time for the knockout blow with the third step in the process. What the client really cares about is their business and revenue that it brings them. So you need to explain how your design is better than their idea or just a great standalone design because of how it's going to benefit them financially. Let's move back to that brochure design. If the reader of the design is turned off because the design is too cramped and it's difficult for them to easily read through it, then the brochure is going to clinch less customers and less sales. Having a more simplified and more streamlined design ensures the reader will breeze through the content easily and get triggered by the call to actions that will capture their attention. Money does talk, and as they say, money does make the world go around. And so if you can demonstrate why your design benefits them financially, you're probably onto a winner. This 3-step process will work a lot of the time. However, sometimes it won't work. There are, of course, clients out there who are so stubborn that nothing can change their minds. For these kind of clients, we have an ace up our sleeves. That is the contract and deposit. I've mentioned this so many times because it is so important. Make sure you receive a deposit up front, either 25%, 50%, or in some situations even the full amount. Get paid before you start any work. Also, work with a contract so you never end up working for free and don't have to give back the deposit. You don't have to be a doormat and bow down to every decision or input your client has, because 9 times out of 10, they won't have a clue what they're talking about. They might want to have an orange logo because they love the color orange, or maybe their son or daughter suggested it's a great color to them one morning. Make your voice heard, but in a tactful manner, coming from an educated experience.
So hopefully this helps you with that problem when a client says that the design is too simple or that you need to fill every single bit of space. The client pitch is where you make or break a project, and so obviously we need to get that right, and that's what we're going to look at right now.
Let's start with the basics of any pitch, logo design or not. If you're pitching in person or maybe on a Zoom call, you should do your best to remain polite, confident, and also calm. In this moment when you are making the pitch, you are a salesperson trying to sell your conceptual ideas to a client. Remaining calm, polite, and confident will ensure that you give off the best impression and keep the client on your side, so to speak. Moving into more specifics for logo designs, one of the main things to keep in mind is to demonstrate in the pitch how the logo design solves a problem or adds value to the client. This can be done easily by pulling up the goals from the project brief and talking about how your logo addresses those goals. For example, your client may have a very outdated logo with new competition emerging in their relevant industry. You can talk about how your design will bring their brand into the modern day and directly set themselves apart from the competition in a positive way. It's good to mention how your logo addresses project goals early on in the pitch, and this is so that you make sure to catch their attention in the early stages of the pitch. This of course works on digital presentation pitches as well as physical ones too. Next, relate the logo choices back to the target audience. Explain who the target audience of your client's brand or business are and show how your logo is going to resonate with that group of people. Also explain why it's important the logo does this and how it can really help their business grow. And you should know all about the target audience from your research and the project. If you're pitching your logo with just a digital presentation, maybe sent to their email, whatever, or if you've printed out a physical presentation to pitch in person, you should be using mockups either way. Not only that, but show the logo in practical situations. I cannot emphasize enough how powerful and important this is. Often our clients do not have the artistic mindset or the creative thinking to visualize how your logo design will look in real life use. So mock it up in situations that relate to their business so they can really see how it's going to function. Also, talk about psychology. When you're pitching your logo design concepts or designs, if you bring up such things as color psychology, typeface psychology, or shape psychology, this will help you seem more professional and it's going to justify your reasoning and your choices. An example would be if one of your concepts is orange, and you could say that from a psychological point of view, science states that orange is a color that evokes a sense of action, energy, and change in people when they view it. This sort of tactic strengthens your arguments and also your sale to the client. Of course, you can only talk about psychology if you've properly researched your project and made an effective design. Remember that we started strong with addressing the goals in the project brief and how the logo addresses them. Well, we also want to finish strongly as well. Leaving a strong finish to the pitch basically ends things on a high note. The client is then left feeling positive with the pitch and also your ideas. Or that's the idea anyway. So at the very end, maybe share the logo concept in its strongest situation and form, and add in a sentence or two about how the design is going to benefit the client and add value to their business. They've spent money on you because they assume you can help them make more money in return. So you obviously want to express that your logo can do that for them and it is going to do that for them. But yeah, above all, just remember to remain polite and also confident. If your design is on point and you understand why you've designed everything you've done, you can be confident in presenting your findings.
And a big thanks to Issuu for sponsoring today's video. Again, you can check them out in the description box below for free, or you can use the code Satori25 for a 25% discount off the annual plan. One vastly important part of getting more clients, getting better clients, is our portfolio. The better our portfolio is, the better our clients will be. But you might be doing things completely wrong with your portfolio, or you just might need to make a few tweaks here and there. And if you want to learn all about that, then just click the video on screen. But until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.